Hello and welcome to Utterly Geek, your weekly gaming video game news podcast, gaming games and more games
Sometimes talk about games, but only
and other
sometimes.
things. I am Darren Bell. I am joined, as most weeks,
When I'm
by
when I'm not knocking shit over.
Captain Nakamike
Sorry,
and Steven
sorry. It's
Petrella.
gonna be loud as shit. I'll try to mute that on my end for when that comes out.
Yeah, you probably should. That's Chris Walczyk, who's Captain Nightmocker.
Yeah.
What?
What? Huh?
Captain Nightmocker.
Yeah. Well
Mike
done.
Knocker, Nightmocker. You know, Nightmocker,
Yeah. Hey.
he's the third part of the Dayman and the Nightman.
Yeah.
The Nightmocker stands between the two.
Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ, what is wrong? My brain has fallen out my ass, which means it's time to start.
Mm-hmm.
Top of the message boards this week. Sean of Hello Games has come out from his hidey ho to talk No Man's Sky Next, which is launching this week, tomorrow, in fact.
Oh fuck.
Oh shit.
Time to
Yeah.
reinstall that game.
Yeah, I just really hope that I can go solo on that. But besides the point, he put out a big old message to the community that basically said, hey, I'm really proud of what we've done, and that they always wanted No Man's Sky to grow and develop after it was released, and that he has to apologize for kind of taking a back seat right after launch because he couldn't say things, apparently. We decided, quote, to focus on development rather than words. So, and then he goes through and says stats about after Atlas Rises came out, how many players it came out. 5% of players hit over 1,000 hours after Atlas Rises came out. So it's good to hear them actually poke their head out from under the rock.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't agree that he couldn't have, had statements post-launch or even during launch, because he had statements during and immediately after launch.
Yeah.
Those statements just weren't exactly great.
Yeah.
But hey, I really wish they could have said ahead of time, hey, we're going to keep growing this game beyond day one, before day one.
Yeah, because it was like they released it and then they went radio silent for a while. Or
Yeah.
actually no, I think if I remember correctly, they released it and then they said, okay, we're patching for immediate bugs or issues that are going on, and then that was like the last like tweet or message that they sent out, and then they updated it and fixed it, and then they just went fucking quiet for a long time.
Well, the last actual tweet from Sean Murray before he went quiet was right after, like, day 2. Two guys found the exact same spot, remember? And they're like, hey, we found the same spot, but we can't see each other. And he tweeted that out and said, wow, 2 players found the same spot so soon. That's amazing. And that was the last tweet from him, where everyone's like, the fuck? We want an explanation.
Yeah.
Like, because whenever anyone asked if there was multiplayer, he's like, if you want there to be...
He said yes. Like, yes,
Yeah.
and then didn't elaborate. Like, just said yes, straight up. Yes with a period. And that was the end of that question.
Yeah. But now that's an actual true statement.
He probably meant yes, multiple people can play at the same time, but you can't see each other. But yes, multiplayer.
Multiple people are accessing the same data at the same time.
Yeah.
The only way you're interacting with people is if you name this planet, Steve is a giant asshole, the planet.
It's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, it does. I like it. But yeah,
It's
I mean,
next to fuck Wally.
I think maybe they were just like, hey, dude, you're not good at communicating with people. Silence is probably the only way this is going to work for us, because you're going to get fucking lambasted if you go out there and say shit. So just keep silent. We're going to get a shit storm of stuff, but don't say one word and just let it all go. And then we'll work on this game and keep working on it because that's all we can do.
Yeah.
Maybe that was their approach after that because he really just was not a good spokesperson.
Yeah, not in any capacity.
So I think they probably just noticed that and were like, this guy's, we can't have him go out in public anymore. Or maybe he even realized it's like, I can't do this. Or I'm going to fuck shit up really bad. Or I'm going to get super depressed. And it's going to destroy everything that we were trying to build. You know, so I don't know. But they could have said something.
So here's the weird part that I've been thinking about this whole No Man's Sky thing, right? So it broke all kinds of sales records. It put Hello Games on the map. They have all this extra cash, which they then later reinvested in developing and actually making No Man's Sky what it is or what it will be tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
If they were up front and said, hey, this is an early access like type thing, they most definitely would not have had the amount of capital that they did based off of the promise of what the original trailers were. So I don't think we would be getting No Man's Sky to the point that it is now. So it's this weird fucking catch-22 of we really want to make this big game, but
Not
we're going to keep
yet.
developing it for years. But if we tell them that it's not done yet, we're not going to get the sales.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this weird fucking thing, right?
I feel like a part of that was a roadblock was that Sony got interested and wanted to publish it. Because there's no way they would have done the early access thing if Sony hadn't stepped in to be like, hey, we want to help publish your game and get it out there for everything. Or get it for PS4 and PC or whatever.
Right. So that was part of it too. Like, is this coming from Sony or...
Mm-hmm.
Like, how much was Sony actually involved in the messaging? Because they certainly weren't there to get Sean Murray to not piss everyone off.
Yeah.
Right. I think they kind of stepped out of the spotlight after it was sold, and then people were like, what the fuck is going on? And then Sony was just like, gone. And they were like, well, it's not really...
They got out there long enough. They got out there long enough to throw Sean Murray under the goddamn bus, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't know how much Sony was involved, but I think in like the matter of that, I think Sony should take a lot of blame for the way that everything was handled because they did invest in this product and they should have tried to put more money into showing or whatever, tried to like show what it was instead of show what it might be, you know?
Yeah.
So it was just... I mean, I blame both of them, but I just think, I don't know. Sony went silent too. They were like, hey, this isn't our problem. Hello Games made this, and we're out later.
Yeah, we
out.
just published it. We have nothing to do with the advertisement.
Yeah.
Yet it was right there on your fucking E3 stage, asshats.
Yeah, they knew what was going on. They knew what they had. They're a fucking good. They're a smart company when it comes to business, so they knew what they were doing.
And I think the other thing too is that if Sony hadn't stepped in either, right? If it was still just for PC and Sony doesn't step in, and then they still had that flood event happen where they basically lost pretty much 90% of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think right then and there they probably would have turned right around and been like, okay, this is an early access title. We still want to release it, or even just be like, okay, here's the situation. Our shit got flooded. We've only recovered like 10% of the coding. Stay tuned for whenever the fuck we release this game.
Right. Yeah.
And then that was it. But I feel like with Sony being there to being the publisher, I'm sure they were there to be like, no, this game needs to come out at this release time that when you said it, we're not pushing it back. Like years. Like, I mean, Sony has pushed games back before so that way, like, maybe by half a year or something, but never like multi-years, like more than a year or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just happy to see final conversation between developer and them. They've actually opened up a portal, they said, in that where you can submit the Galactic Atlas We're launching a new website dedicated to the community. We're calling the Galactic Atlas. The site features points of interest in the No Man's Sky Euclid galaxy, all nominated by you through this survey we created earlier this month. The surveys... Oh, God, it's only going to stay open until tomorrow. So you have until then, which I think is a bad idea, but you should keep that open a little bit longer. Or in perpetuity. Why not just leave that fucking open?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's good to see, and hey, next kind of looks like a good point to jump in on that game.
Mm-hmm.
What, 3 years? When did No Man's Sky first come out?
I almost want to say 15 or 16.
I think it was 2015. Let me check.
Somewhere around
2016! There. Yes, 2 years later. Hop in. It's now probably the game that you thought it would be. Or at least a lot closer to it.
Yeah, I definitely want to give the multiplayer a shot. Like, I want to see what that's like, because that was always, with every big update that they've done, I always jump in and play a couple hours and be like, oh yeah, I remember this game, and then seeing like all the new shit they add, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool, and then being like, I've already plugged 50, 60 hours when it first came out, because I just played it as a super casual game that I was just grinding and crafting, but like...
That's what I'm afraid of, because I want that still chill-out game. I haven't played it since launch. And I played it for about 20, 30 hours of just, I'm just going to chill.
It's still, shit. Even with the 2 big updates that happened, it was still a chill game. Like, it was just more that you could do more. Like, you could have your own frigate ship. You could have your own crew. Like, you could have bases. You had different methods of transportation. And all the different vehicles, and you could like upgrade them in so many different ways. So it was still very much that chill game. It was just, they just added more. You could just do more in that game.
Right. Well, now with the focus on multiplayer and like character customization, they kind of, all the marketing around this was like, hey, you can like jack other people's ships and all of their stuff. Like it's Space Sea of Thieves. You can be space pirates. And if I have to fend off my shit from other assholes, that's going to completely wreck my vibes.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I just hope that they have a, hey, do you just want to like chill out and like be a hermit in space?
Yeah,
hermits.
The way I took away from it was it would be something where you can do a private server where it's basically you just group up with a bunch of friends and then you just explore the world and you do whatever, and it doesn't incorporate
the marketing did not indicate any kind of private server. They're like totally just jack assholes. Which could be neat if I want to play that style of game.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm willing to try it to see how it works and how it goes. But yeah, I mean, if it's something similar to like Rust or any of those games where it's just like you die and then well, I guess you wouldn't start all over because there's plenty of times I've died in that game.
Can I be a reaver? Can I strap people to the nose of my goddamn ship? Can I be a reaver?
No.
Come on.
No.
Let me be a reaver. Excitement for No Man's Sky. Nintendo has gone on the offensive, and they have sued 2 prominent ROM sites for mass, quote unquote, copyright infringement. They have sued popular sites loveroms.com and loveretro.co. Nintendo previously would file cease and desist to similar websites, and it seems they're just fed up with this shit. They're like, yo,
it's because it basically has people not buying their shit for
right now they're actually selling those ROMs and micro consoles.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious to see how this works out, because ROMs have always kind of been in a weird nebulous gray area legally.
Yeah.
where you can have ROMs if you have the original cartridges, but you can't if you don't.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's almost like a prove it type thing.
Yeah, but also a lot of these games, if you want to download ROMs of any original Nintendo game out there, you can. But what if that game isn't commercially available anywhere else?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I go and download DuckTales 2, because I can't buy DuckTales 2 anywhere else legally unless I want to pay exorbitant collector's fees,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
but I just want to play the fucking game.
Right.
How does that work out legally? Because I'm not hurting Capcom by downloading this ROM because Capcom isn't commercially selling that. I can understand Nintendo coming after it because they're selling their micro consoles.
Mm.
And they've had
Yeah.
their virtual console. So I'm very curious to see how this all shakes out legally.
Or Earthbound 2.
Which is technically Mother 3.
Right.
Well, they did finally release the first Earthbound stateside as Earthbound Beginnings on the Wii U and the 3DS eShop. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see Mother 3 finally localized at some point here.
Mm-hmm.
And they
I mean,
call it Earthbound, what that one with Lucas.
It's also, it's also coming before they release their online stuff. So
Right.
maybe there's something there where they're saying, hey, we want to stop this because we're trying to release a bunch of games on the Switch, so
Yeah.
or on their virtual console. So we'll see. Who knows? They might just be fed up because it's been going on so long. But I don't know. I don't personally. I don't understand why they're doing it because the people who are buying those systems would buy those anyways, even if they had the ROMs.
Yeah.
Because those are just collector's things and people want them. I don't think it stopped any of the sales of those. Like, they fucking sold out of those for the most part when they came out. So I don't know why they're doing it. I think it's for the future of what they're going to be releasing.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. Whatever the hell that online thing ends up looking like, it could be just like, hey, remember those ROM sites we sued? We have all their ROMs. Have all their ROMs for $20 a month.
Yeah.
Because they literally did that with the Wii Virtual Console. With, I think it was Mario Brothers 3. They were found to be using a ROM.
Oh, Jesus.
Not like the original source code. Yeah, it's fucking... Hi, we're Nintendo. We're lucky we make good games that people want.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that whole court case.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Xaviant, the developers behind the hit The Culling 2.
The smash hit that everyone knew about.
Yep.
And everybody was rushing to go play.
Millions.
Yep,
They
millions.
issued a
Day one.
statement on YouTube that basically said, oh, hey, we released The Culling 2, and clearly we were way off the mark. So they've actually, since we last spoke, they've stopped selling The Culling 2. They've given refunds to anyone who did buy The Culling 2. And they said that they are re-releasing The Culling 1 Day 1 edition in an early access form. Because apparently, people who played The Culling on Day 1 really loved Day 1 version of The Culling.
Mm.
And all the updates after that, these fans say just ruined the game for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it sounds like releasing The Culling 2 after updating The Culling to a state that no one wanted to play it sounds like Xaviant's a top dev that really understands their player base. But at least now they're learning. So, and they actually address that in the video. They're like, we realize that this industry is driven on trust, and right now we don't have a lot of it. So we're gonna do everything we can to get your trust back.
They also openly admit that they were like, we realize this is not the game that everyone expected or wanted. out of this, or out of the Culling 2, so yeah, our bad.
Which is it's such a move of humbleness that I don't expect to see in the games industry.
Yeah.
Like to openly admit, yo, we fucked, and sorry.
Looking at you, Cliff Blazinski, you fucking bastard.
Oh, Radical Heights could have been good if it was given more than a week.
Well, 5 months.
I don't think it
but
even survived a mooch, did it?
4 days is how long it survived.
That's 40% of a mooch.
It was. I mean, it was only made in like 5 months. It was shortly after Lawbreakers was like cut, like after they cut back on the funding for Lawbreakers, and they were like, "Hey, we're shutting down soon." So
I wonder. I wonder if how much of the Culling 2's missteps, if they looked at Lawbreakers as like a, hey, that's what exactly not to do.
Possibly.
Let's not do that. Let's course correct hard and fast.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, good on them though. That's pretty cool that they did that. It is interesting though that I mean, I think it's just the failure of the game opened their eyes to be like, maybe we should actually listen to our fan base, because that's where we're going to make money.
Well, the fan base being how many people are actually playing their fucking game. I don't think like direct contact of people being like, "Hey man, fix your fucking game," because that was obviously not the case with the first Culling, because they just wanted to do whatever the hell they wanted, and even though people were like, "Please stop doing this, whatever updates you're doing," and then they were like, "No, fuck you,
stop."
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, when people don't want to buy your new game or don't give two rats ass about it, that's going to be a pretty eye-opening experience.
Yeah.
When two people are playing your game, and then it goes to one, and then it goes to none.
The ultimate battle royale experience
within 3 days.
Like, that's got to be a really just like, oh, we done fucked up. Why weren't we listening to everybody who actually liked our game? We weren't fucking listening.
I guarantee you there was one guy on that dev team that was just screaming, "I fucking told you!
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing?"
Well, I think it's also the way that the Culling 2 happened. It was just like, it just was released with no marketing, nothing. And like, they were trying to go based off of word of mouth. And I guess similar to how PUBG did it, because PUBG just kind of happened. Like, it's just like, I just heard about it. I saw these people playing it, and I was like, all right, let me check out this game. And here I am fucking 470 hours later. But yeah, I think they tried to do the same thing, where it was just like, all right, let's release this game, and then just totally do it word of mouth. And then a dozen people heard about it. And then once people heard how many people were playing that game, it was like, oh, it's a worse version of PUBG, even though PUBG is already bad in a lot of ways. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious, because they've said that Day 1 Edition will remain available as a separate executable through their development, so that they can keep looking back at it. And my thought process is, if that version was so good, why do you need to really update it all that much? Why make so many sweeping... Listen, I'm not a game dev, but your process sounds silly.
I'm wondering maybe if it's just more like they want to do... They'll probably... I mean, if it's free to play, there's going to be microtransactions. That's going to be guaranteed. So that way they have some kind of income to keep the servers alive and running. I don't know. Maybe that's what they'll do, and then keep working with that to make more maps, more content for like skins and shit. Free updates eventually, I'm sure. Basically everything I guess that Fortnite is doing, but just instead of basically everything like Fortnite's doing. But I think the thing that kind of interests me with the Culling is it does actually add more of it's kind of a little bit more focused on melee, but like the way that the melee works too is like you actually have to craft things. Like it's kind of not like crafting in a way where it's like, oh, yeah, you gotta open up a menu, but you can just basically do it real fast and on the fly. And it's nothing like, oh, I gotta sit here in a fucking menu and wait for a spear to be made in like 5-6 seconds or whatever, where it's just like you click it and you keep going, so that way you're like on the move while you're crafting this thing or whatever. And then it's just like, it's a little bit more focused on melee than it is on gunplay. So I don't know, that could be good, it could be bad. There's some things of it that I'm like, oh, that could be cool, but I mean, I also tried Realm Royale and got immediately curb stomped by the third game. So I was like, well, I guess I'm done with this one, because everyone's suddenly good at this game after it being released in 48 hours.
Yeah, I want to try Realm Royale. I've had it installed and it's just kind of sitting there. I don't know.
I'll try it with you. I mean, it's fun because of the whole like skill
chicken
system.
song.
Oh god, yeah. I mean that too. But yeah. I mean the classes is kind of fun, and I don't know. Some of the mechanics are kind of neat and interesting. But yeah, it's like it's overall, once you know who are the really good classes to play, you could be almost unstoppable.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird populated genre, so we'll see. We'll see what the culling does. In other crimes, there's a new money laundering scheme for big criminal enterprises, and apparently it's Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, and even Marvel Contest of Champions. German cybersecurity firm Cromtech is reporting free-to-play games are being used to launder money. So what happens is these crime syndicates get all their dirty lucre, and then they get a phone, they install these free-to-play apps, and they buy a shit ton of microtransactions, and then they sell the fucking account online.
Wow.
For the value of the microtransactions, or a little under. So they're laundering money through fucking Clash Royale. Like,
this is the future, folks, right here.
Well, okay, this isn't the first time that microtransactions were used to launder money. I remember watching it real time from Russia. A shit ton of keys in Team Fortress 2 were all purchased one Sunday evening. This was when I was deep into. I had a problem.
Yes, I was there for that problem as well, yes.
And there was suddenly a huge spike. Thousands upon thousands of keys flooded the market one Sunday evening, and they were all originating from Russia and the Ukraine. They were laundering fucking cash through the Team Fortress marketplace, because at that point there were a lot of third-party websites where you could sell them for real money. So, yeah, it makes sense. These games are super popular, and people will pay to violate contracts. Like, yeah. I think this is hilarious and awful. Just wanted to include that. Fuck. In happy news, Guerrilla Games, creators of such wonderful games such as Horizon Zero Dawn, have a new office, and they're increasing their headcount from 200 to about 450.
Nice.
While this does sound really good, I'm also kind of concerned. When a small company suddenly gets a lot bigger, sometimes there's problems.
Yeah, but I mean, it could also be a good thing too. It means there's more hands on it, which means they can get more done. I mean, obviously with Horizon, that game was already very well polished. I mean, that was a game that did very well. But I feel like also not to say that there could have been more, or there could have been things that could have been done better with Horizon. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, just being able to get what they need done faster with more hands on it, so that way they can get to some of the ideas that they might have for other games.
Yeah.
To implement it, because they have more hands on deck, to just kind of basically split everyone into like groups or something and just be like, all right, you're going to focus on this thing and you and that.
Right.
Yeah, it could just mean they're trying to make multiple games at once.
Yeah, that too.
Because I'd imagine that they're gonna do a second Horizon.
Yeah.
And then they might have another idea for another game.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So maybe it's an increase, or they're like, hey, because they're Sony only, maybe, Sony's like, hey, we're gonna invest more money into you guys so you can make a better game than Horizon that was amazingly successful, and keep that going, So who knows? Like, it could be bad. I mean, it could mean that they're trying to push things out too fast or whatever, but I think it's mostly a good thing, because it gives people more jobs, and it makes the company will be able to do more things, so
Right.
We'll see what comes out of them, though.
That's just my primary concern. I mean, I've watched a lot of documentaries and heard a lot of interviews with former Rare employees where that was a toxic, competitive, multi-team studio for a long while.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at something like Ubisoft that just pumps out the same game year after year after year with what happened with Assassin's Creed. And so those are the thoughts that run around in my head when a developer who made a game that I really kind of enjoyed suddenly balloons. It's like, oh no, this could go real bad. But it could also be pretty good.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah. And kind of what Steve was saying, like, I can kind of see where one team is working on Horizon 2, and maybe they pass that off to, like, some of the newcomers while keeping some of the old people who originally worked on the first Horizon to be like, okay, don't fuck this up. This is how we have everything set up. And then, like, if you want to have ideas or whatever to kind of contribute to the game, there we work on it. And then there are the other group, like the A team, and they're the ones who are like, all right, well, let's do something new and let's create something. And they're kind of like the ones that are, kind of working on the next big thing that comes out like 4 or 5 years later or something.
Yeah.
I kind of see it working like that, where it's just split into two teams, and one's working on maybe a franchise that's already made, or I don't know. I mean, I would actually be more surprised if they would kind of shell out 2 new IPs from one studio, but that again, like, Don't Nod has kind of been doing that as well, kind of.
Yeah, Don't Nod's weird.
I mean, 400 employees is a lot of employees.
Yeah.
Like, for a game developer, like, I mean, because you have indie developers that are making games with 10 people, so it's like to have 400 people making something. Like, I can't imagine that 400 people are working on one game. Like, that would just be mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Most likely not.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I mean, they suddenly went from a game studio that was making one type of game to suddenly, hey, we're going to pivot and make a completely different kind of game, and they were super successful in it. So, sure, make multiple teams. Get weird with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they got tired with Killzone, so they were like, hey, we just want to work on something that's totally different.
Yep. So cool. I wish you luck. I have concerns, but that's just me being my neurotic self. That's fine. Oh, 343 Industries have gotten out there, and they have announced Halo Infinite will definitely not have Battle Royale. They said the only BR that we are interested in is the Battle Rifle. That is a quote from them, and I love them for it. It's terrible, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. This is a no-brainer for me. I've never thought, like, man, you know what fucking Battle Royale mode should be in what game, what franchise? Fucking Halo. Like, no.
But I could see it fitting from a narrative structure, but I'm glad they didn't. It could be
Yeah.
like ODST training, where all of a sudden you're all ODSTs dropping in, and it's like a simulation for your final training.
Yeah.
But
It-
good on them for resisting that temptation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they could do a cool battle royale type mode, but yeah, they don't need it.
No, not at all.
They have, I mean,
They're fucking Halo, man. They're
Yeah.
like so fast paced. Like that's
Give,
just
Yeah.
give me
how
give
it
me
is.
a good classic style Halo 2 multiplayer.
yeah,
Like-
yeah,
Old like split screen style.
That's why I feel like with Call of Duty, I feel like Call of Duty is gonna fail with the battle royale market, just because it's Call of Duty has always been really fast. I mean, Battlefield has also kind of been really fast paced as well, but like there are times you can play that game really slow. It's just the action is just a lot of hectic. But yeah,
Yeah.
Call of Duty, where it's like you're constantly running around and shooting things and like calling in kill streaks and all this shit.
Yeah.
Like it's not fit for a battle royale mode. I don't think, and I think that's why it won't really succeed, because people are gonna play it and be like, "Oh, I'm dead now. I gotta fucking queue up for a new
up
game
another game."
entirely."
Yeah.
Like that's bullshit. I just want to be able to get into the action real fast and just, if
Well-
I die, not really give a shit.
I mean, look at how people play PUBG. Just drop at school, and then die, and then drop at school, and then die, and then drop at school, and then die. Like people seem to like that.
Yeah, but even if you win school, then it's like, okay, cool. Where can I go next? Like, where's the next heavily
Right,
populated area?
that's when the long game starts, and I feel like that could also work for some players in a Call of Duty setting. The thing that pisses me off about Call of Duty, you know what really burns my ass, more than the fact that they're doing I don't really give a shit. It's the fact that their multiplayer modes are never inspired. They're never something new.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, they had Gun Game, which was a Counter-Strike mod for literal decades before it came to a Call of Duty game. And I remember talking to people going, "Oh, they make new shit all the time. Look at Gun Game." Like, no. It's not fucking new.
Mm-hmm.
They take mods, they take other games, and they just integrate it into theirs in some way, shape, or form. Even the Zombies mode is kind of like a killing floor. It's the killing floor.
Mm-hmm.
But with Call of Duty zombies and some historical context bullshit. It's
I
like,
think
fucking be creative.
I'm trying to remember if when they did their dog tags mode, if that was new to the
Kill
Call of
confirm?
Duty. Yeah. Was that always new? I think that was, because that started in Black Ops.
I thought Kill Confirmed was in Modern Warfare.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Regardless, that's the only thing that we can point to where we're not quite sure the source. And it's either the first Black Ops or it's Modern Warfare.
But
So-
it's still Call of Duty though. That's
It
the
is.
point that I'm getting at.
Look how old those ones are.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the last time that I really loved something, I think I've talked about this, was the Sticks and Stones, where you just have a crossbow and a hatchet, and you can humiliate people.
When was that?
That was
Which one?
that-
Black Ops 2? I wanna
Black
say?
Ops 2, I think. Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
either Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2. And that mode was really cool, because it's like, okay, you get you get a certain score for killing someone with a crossbow, but if you hit them with the hatchet, then it takes their score completely away, and it's called a humiliation, and
Yep.
now you have to build back up, and it's just like, so it's like, okay, that guy's in first, let's all fucking throw hatchets at him, but then it's still like, you're still trying to get other kills too along the way. It was a cool fucking mode. It was fun.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I
I'll
really
give credit
enjoyed it.
there. And
Yeah,
that was Black Ops 2, so that's
Okay.
a bit more recent.
Yeah.
But even then, you're the only person I've ever heard talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that I mean,
I
felt
didn't
when
play
I was-
that mode, so fuck that.
Yeah,
I think
felt
because
like
I didn't like it, but that was me.
Yeah, for me, I liked it because it was something different from just running around and like just shooting people.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't as good at that, I don't think, as
Right.
other people were, so I would get so frustrated.
Oh,
But
wow.
then-
No, this started in Black Ops.
Oh, it did?
Okay. I knew
Yeah.
it was one of the Black Ops
Yeah.
games, but yeah. Okay.
Oh man, when did Black Ops come out? The fan wiki for this is awful. It's too dark. You can't read anything. That was 2010, so that was 8 years ago.
Wow.
Hey, you know they might come out in 2 years? A Black Ops remastered. And it's gonna be sold with the next color. You know, that actually goes in line with them doing. Well, no, they release a game every year anyway. It's just a different. It's just.
Well, now they're releasing multiple with remasters.
Yeah.
And it's getting gross. It's getting gross. Gross. You know what else is gross? James Gunn's old tweets. They were gross. They were so gross. Disney severed ties with him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say Disney. What the fuck, Disney?
Yeah. I mean, hey man, Disney used to be racist, so what the fuck?
Used to.
Yeah. Just like how James Gunn used to make all those kind of crude jokes and then fucking grew up.
Listen, I'm not saying Disney wasn't racist, but it's possible that Disney could also still be racist.
Okay, fair enough.
So the whole thing here that we're talking about, in case you didn't get it, director James Gunn, who directed Guardians of the Galaxy. Over the weekend, it became public knowledge that a decade ago he had some, he claims, joking tweets with friends of his that are in very poor taste. Very poor taste, but given, if you look at all the tweets of that era from James Gunn, they're in line with his online persona and possibly who he was
right
at that point in time. Utterly tasteless. I did not find them funny. However, I don't think that's who the man is now, according to people who he has worked with.
Yeah.
And you know what? 10 years ago, I would have fucking hated myself. If today I met 10 years younger me, holy shit, what an insufferable prick that would have been.
I mean, you're an insufferable prick now, so I mean...
But I'm a little bit more likable.
I think what gets me with this one is like, if this hadn't been public knowledge before he got hired by Disney, because Disney vetted him and they knew that he did, like, he tweeted this shit out.
Or they didn't know.
No, they did know. They knew. They knew because he came out when he got the job. He came out and already, when he got Guardians of the Galaxy,
them ahead of time.
He apologized for those tweets. And now they're resurfacing these years later, and it's all because of his opposition to Trump. So now Fox News and all of these other sources and people who work around those areas are now bringing these back out and attacking him because he's been attacking Trump or been opposing Trump. So now it's becoming this crazy thing. So Disney wants no part in this. So they're just severing ties with him, which is pretty, for me, I think it's like, as far as Guardians of the Galaxy goes, I give no shits about it, because if they don't use the script that he wrote and finished, I don't know what that movie is going to turn into. If they're just going to shit can the whole series, or what they're going to do with it, or if they're going to bring it back to the drawing board.
They might just pull an Ant-Man where they just keep whatever he wrote and then maybe modify it so that way it's still not exactly what he wrote, but it's there's definitely elements in there that seem like that would be him.
Right. Yeah.
And I would
he wrote both of those scripts, and he finished Guardians of the Galaxy 3 script. Yeah. So
I can kind of see, so like I don't think it'll fail, and the reason why I don't think it'll fail is because after seeing Infinity War, I feel like if it's still given into the right hands, Guardians of the Galaxy can be done just as wonderful as the other two movies. Because I mean, even with all of the moments when Star-Lord or Drax or any of the other characters were on screen, it was just like, man, this fucking, it feels like they nailed how those movies felt. Like, and just the tone of everything. It never felt at any point I was just like, man, that seems really out of place for that character, or this tone of those characters seem really out of place. It was just like every single scene with them, I was always laughing my ass off because I was just like, this is fucking who they are. They are just like, yeah, they'll get the job done, but they still are fucking goofy and do silly shit.
Yeah.
And joke with each other, and you know.
I'm sure that he was in the writers' room though.
No, it was just those the two brothers who worked on Infinity War that wrote and directed it.
Yeah, they might have. Yeah, but they probably had other people in the writing room with them,
like a ghostwriter kind of deal.
Yeah, well, a lot of how writing goes, like in TV and movies, is like you have your main writers, but you also have like a room of people who are like bouncing ideas off of each other, basically, and like feeling each other out, and then they take all of these collective ideas, and then the people write the script and the story and stuff. So those dudes wrote it and like scripted it, but I can imagine that there was like a massive team of people bouncing ideas off of each other, like saying, okay, this is gonna work, this isn't gonna work, you know, because like the teams have to be huge to create a movie of that like spectrum.
That
like,
many characters.
There's so many fucking characters. There's so much dialogue. You have to splice everything in a certain way. So I can only imagine that there just had to be a lot of people involved in the writing of that. But not, I mean, they took the ideas and wrote it themselves. But there has to be like some kind of collective of people. But yeah, I think the movie will be fine, but I think it's going to lose some form of essence because he does have a certain like style behind his directing and how he delivers something. But I think they can still produce a good movie because Disney has so much money to be able to do that.
Yeah, like prime example. I know I mentioned it previously, but I watched the first and second Ant-Man over the weekend. And the entire time I was watching the first Ant-Man, because I know that Edgar Wright did the screenplay for it, it was just like, so much of how that movie was directed, I was just like, God, I see what Edgar Wright could do with this fucking movie, and like how he would transition things and how he would write things out. Like that's so him. But it was just like, it was a discounted version of that is what we got, and that was Ant-Man. Not to say I didn't enjoy it, I still did. Like I still, like a lot of the writing was still really well done, or at least decent. But after seeing the second Ant-Man, I was just like, man, I kind of really wish Edgar Wright was still working on this, because he would have, a lot of the screenplay would have just been so much better compared to the first one.
All right, I just feel like with this situation, regardless of how the films turn out, because honestly, fuck it, that doesn't really matter in the context of this conversation. It's the fact that decades-old message that was already knowledge has been used to fire him. And I feel like everyone who's been working with him, who's come to his defense, are basically integral to the success of those movies. Dave Bautista, Christ, what's her name? No, Zoe Saldana didn't say anything yet. But they're going to come to his defense because he is not that person. You are not. You put shit online. A decade later, you're not the same person who put shit online. Fucking read Siddhartha, assholes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And I feel like we need to have, as a society, a way to purge that information should we want to. There should be a right to forget.
Yeah.
Where tweets, online comments, after a certain span of time, are fucking deleted.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many times like back when I was on Facebook and I would see certain posts, I was just like, Jesus Christ. Like what the fuck was I thinking?
And you know what? I'm kind of rethinking that because I went through and started the process of deleting my Facebook this weekend. Part of me just wants to go through and just fucking delete all my posts and everything and just not use it because I downloaded the big packet because you can go in and ask, hey, Facebook, what do you got on me? You can download it in a nice little zip file, and I read through some of, because it stores every text, every message that you sent.
Oh,
and
wow.
if it's two in between a user who has since deleted their account, it just says Facebook user. But I've read through some of those old messages, and Jesus Christ, they're terrible. They are fucking terrible. Messages with X's and companies I reached out to at some point. And
Yeah.
part of me just wants to go through and just fucking delete all of that information, but keep my account so I can like be informed of events and things that other people.
Hey man, were you there when I had my nice guy phase? Because I had a nice guy phase. It was awful.
Had a nice. What the fuck do you mean nice guy phase? Is this some red pill bullshit?
Oh, do you not know about that?
Oh, what the fuck?
So the nice guy meme, I guess, or whatever, is like the whole thing where it's like guys that are always like, oh, why don't women pick me? I'm like the I'm
red
always
pill
nice.
bullshit.
Yeah, okay, all right. I guess I didn't know it was called that. I just know it as the popular name of nice guys. But yeah, I had a little bit of a phase like that for a while. I saw shit like that and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Like you said, it would slap the shit out of myself from 10
social
years
media
ago.
is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
The only thing it's good for is organizing people together and staying in contact with people who are really far away.
Mhm.
I feel like a public option to blast things out to the internet needs to be removed from all social media, and I realize that I'm just asking for email. But that's fine. A public directory of email addresses.
Yes.
That's all I want. But yeah, I really hope that this precipitates some sort of shift over, hey, the right to be forgotten.
Yeah. Not that I think it has any impact, but there was like something where it was like, oh, 50,000 people signed a petition to keep James Gunn on the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but it's kind of like, when the fuck of a petition ever works, really?
God.
When I was on Facebook getting ready to delete it because I was previously fans of like the Nerdists and Chris Hardwick, there was a whole thing that popped up. I stand with Chris Hardwick group.
Jesus.
Oh god, that's another mess I don't want to fucking step in.
Yeah.
Like what the no. No, Facebook, no.
Yeah.
Facebook and Twitter are terrible, but they're
Yeah.
but they're useful. At certain
I think
points.
the whole reason why they fired him wasn't, because they knew about his tweets because they vetted him and he apologized for the tweets, is because they have to now defend him. So they have to say that he's not like, and I don't think Disney wants to defend him. I just don't think they want to, because then that makes them almost responsible for what he said. So now they're going to be like, oh, you condone what he said. So now Disney condones fucking stuff that's maybe like, because he's talking about touching children and like weird shit like that.
Yeah, real bad and tasteless, like I said.
Very tasteless. That was his humor. He was a trauma director, like he did Romeo and Juliet and stuff like that. So he was a fucking tasteless director. He did that shit.
But
so
PG Point to this day remains a goddamn masterpiece.
So
that whole series.
Yeah, so he was involved in that world, and he was doing the shock value stuff, and it is tasteless shit, and I don't know how Disney could defend it, and I think that's why they ultimately just said we can't come out and defend this guy because these tweets are so offensive that we just can't.
No. Yeah, if you look at Disney and they come out and they keep this guy on after this big public blowout, it's all like pedophile shit.
Yeah,
like that's real bad for them. Remember, this is a company that when faced with potential legal action over stopping a movie that was guerrilla shot in their parks, they instead decide to take their official stance as that film exists.
Yeah.
That's their only message of it. Of course they're going to take this path, and they're not going to rehire him. But what I would like to see is other people take note.
Yeah.
And I've already started to see that. I've seen people start to go through and purge their old social media stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that will become a feature. You know, it was actually easier to find the option in Facebook to what do you do with my account after I die than it was to delete my account.
Yep. Yep.
It was easier to find that.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
It is fucked.
Social media is awful and the ruin of our lives.
I mean, it's just, I won't go too far into it, but it's even worse with Amazon. If you want to get rid of your Amazon account,
Oh, Jesus.
you have to go through like several different pages. And even then it's like you have to like contact them. It's a whole thing I won't get into, but I'll show it at some point to you on that whole process. There's a very specific video that I follow, a YouTuber, that he showed that whole process, because he just would, I don't know if he actually deleted his Amazon account, but he was just like, oh, I just want to see how this whole process is, and then he actually explained it while like recording every step along the way, and I was just like, holy shit, that's awful.
Jesus. In the continuing saga of terrible social media, we have updates regarding the ArenaNet firings for Guild Wars 2. Some additional details that we missed in our earlier discussion. So, lead writer for Guild Wars 2 was kind of taking questions on Twitter and talking basically about writing for an MMO, and YouTube personality who is a part of their partners program suggested ways to write, and she took it as, this is an attack on me as a woman. Another ArenaNet employee uninvolved swooped in, came to her aid. The next day, ArenaNet fired them both for not interacting with the audience correctly. So what has come to light is that, yes, just as you suspected, Stephen, she had received a number of condescending statements that same day, attacking her as a woman. So she, took this as another attack on her as a woman, and she finally fucking snapped, which I can completely agree with. Also, ArenaNet also fired them under the pretenses of violating their terms for interacting with the fan base. In her interviews later on, I had missed this point. Those actual terms were never outlined to employees. These were terms that were never actually discussed.
Wow.
She's like, we didn't have these terms. So what the fuck? And the other writer who was also fired basically agreed with her and said, yeah, no, we never had these outlined. So a lot of other companies have spoken up and said, oh yeah, we're going to have that training now. We're gonna draw those lines. Like, this looks really bad for ArenaNet now.
Yeah.
Especially for anyone who's potentially going to work there.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh boy. Oh boy, ArenaNet. What the fuck? And also, they came out and said, because this happened on the 4th of July. So ArenaNet came out and made a statement that said, due to the holiday weekend, we wanted to deal with this as quickly as possible, so we fired them. Fucking what?
Oh, God. We didn't want to think about it during the holiday, so whatever. Just
yeah. What the fuck?
We just wanted to go eat our hot dogs and hamburgers and watch some shit blow up.
The other guy who got fired literally got fired for tweeting at a barbecue. Like, fuck, man. ArenaNet. What the that's really all I can say is what the fuck. Like, this looks really bad. They handled... I went from feeling like, oh, okay, they kind of handled this okay, to, no, this is a completely wrong way.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't handled professionally. They bent immediately to the audience outrage. They didn't actually consult with their writers in any capacity to get their side of it. Like, fuck, man.
Oh boy.
Social media is the worst. If there's one thing you can take from today's episode, it's fuck social media.
I mean,
follow us on Instagram.
Like, comment, subscribe. I mean,
God.
it's a double-edged sword with that,
It
because I
really
mean, it's great for announcements. It's great for it's great for announcements. It's great
short,
hearing
quick burst announcements.
Yeah, like it's great hearing on updates on things that's like happening in the world, but like
Contact with friends.
I think the worst thing, it seems
Enjoying
like
a drink now. And
it seems like the consistent theme besides social media sucking is it's the overall theme of whatever the fuck that's immediately on your mind that goes, I want to share this on social media, crush that idea and throw it the fuck away and and think for like 20 minutes before you go, should I really post this or not?
Unless it's a picture of an animal with zero context and zero text.
Yes.
You can post animal pictures.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man,
That's
I mean,
fine.
that's why the last final moments of Total Biscuit, all he did with his Twitter account was basically just retweet pictures of dogs. And that was it. That was all he used it for. That and updating on what his situation was. But other than that, just fucking retweeting dogs and other people tweeting to him their dogs. And then he'd retweet it. And that was it. Because he was like, fuck all social media. I'm just using this thing as an outlet to look at dogs and retweet dogs. And that's it.
He may not have been a perfect person, but he was still a good person.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually how I kind of handle my Instagram, is I'm just like, I post a picture of something that I like or something like a record, and I just put like a heart next to it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Perfect.
I fucking post it, tag
Steve,
it, you know, and then
mastered social media.
Yeah. I rarely comment on anything. Like, I comment.
It's usually me like calling you out and saying something.
Yeah. What the fuck, Steve? Like, no, I mean, the only time I ever comment is like if I'm following like a band that I love and they're like, oh, this album just, you know, whatever this album, and I'll be like, it's a masterpiece. Thank you for your art. Whatever, you know, just to give them props. Just shit like that.
Because you know someone on that band is fucking reading that.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Smile, fucker.
I try my best not to like, and I don't look at shit that's triggering. Like, I don't look at it.
Ever browse Reddit by controversial? Jesus. It's pretty awful.
Whenever I want to hate myself, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
See a big political post like, I wonder.
Or to feel better about yourself, then you browse that area as well.
Not when I'm looking at political posts and I sort it by controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'm just like, how are you a human? You're garbage.
Yeah.
But just as Wally said, like, before you do anything, think about that shit, because no matter if you delete it or not, it's there forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, somebody, if it's some kind of controversial thing, somebody probably saved it.
Yep.
So, especially if you're prominent in like Twitter or Instagram or Reddit or anything like that, like,
Ask
it's
any
gonna be there forever.
Ask any elected individual who sends out a racist goddamn tweet looking at you, Ron Paul.
Yes.
Within moments, it will be archived and reblogged fucking everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we need, I think, as a society is, you know, social media is brand fucking new. Yes, it's like a decade old, but it's very, very new.
In context of time, it's very new.
Like, we as a society are currently ill-prepared to deal with social media as a form of expression, as a means of communication. So we as a society need to learn how to actually interact with and use social media in a educated and constructive fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're gonna eventually get there, I hope and pray. But it will probably take another 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
To actually get to that point where we're all just tweeting out pictures of dogs.
Yep.
Yeah, take me back to the time where Facebook wasn't Pepe memes and fucking right versus left, and just back to the time where I could complain about all my friends just sharing baby pictures.
Yeah.
You remember that? There was a glorious, 2 years where everyone's like, well, fuck, it's all just baby pictures now. Like, no, I dream for baby picture days. Fuck social media. And if you need to be... It's just like sex. Fuck social media. But if you have to, use protection.
Oh, okay. I was like, say no? Because I don't know about that, man. That's,
Oh, shit. Were you taught abstinence only? Listen, we're going to have a talk later. You're taught abstinence only.
I wasn't, but I thought you were going that route, or just be like, just no all the time. I thought that's the route you were going down. Cause
that's the ideal, but, that's not practical. Just like with sex.
Okay.
No. Okay. Back, reel it back.
Hey, welcome to the Other Geek Podcast, where sometimes we talk about video games.
This is a brand new podcast, guys.
Sometimes
socialmedia.com.
That's our new podcast. That's all we do every week. Say
now we're off the soapbox. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's step down. Hey, Fallout 76 beta has been announced. It will start in October, and I hate the fact that they call it beta, BETA, break everything, test something.
Yeah.
We all know that game's already balanced and taken care of. They're just testing their servers.
Yeah.
As balanced of a Bethesda game can be, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But this is, if you pre-order the game, you get to start playing it in October.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious as to what the fuck that game ends up being.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll view that game from a distance. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm not jazzed for it, but cool. Nintendo has continued their support for fucking Mario Kart 8. There is a recent update to add the Breath of the Wild Heroes Tunic Link and the Breath of the Wild Master Cycle with the paraglider and wheels to Mario Kart 8 for free.
Nice.
Something that previously would have probably been a $2 DLC type thing from them. Free.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, the game already includes everything DLC.
All previous DLC.
Yeah.
So this got me thinking too about Nintendo's approach to DLC, because when you look at the games that they have offered that have had DLC, they have been sizable chunks.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion is basically another single player.
Mm-hmm.
The Breath of the Wild DLC is dozens of more hours of content.
Right.
The new Xenoblade stuff is, again, dozens of hours of story and a new protagonist and a whole bunch of shit. It feels like the Wii U was them really figuring out what DLC is to Nintendo.
Mm.
So I think out of all the big companies, Nintendo has handled DLC really well.
Yeah.
When you look at it. And I'm glad, this was apropos of nothing. Suddenly, boom! Hey, look! A new look for Link and a new Master Cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You're still supporting fucking Mario Kart 8. That's cool. Thanks. Halo Wars 2, they've announced. I don't know why I included this. They're going to update in July to have crossplay between Xbox One and PC. For Halo Wars 2.
Good luck.
All right.
All units.
Good luck.
All units.
I only say good luck because, it's a real-time strategy game on PC.
Yeah,
Jesus.
That's why I included it. I want to know how the fuck this is going to work out.
The same thing when people try to do first-person shooters as a cross-play against consoles.
Probably very poorly.
Yeah.
So cool. That's it for news from my side. Unless I missed something, gentlemen.
If you want to have a laugh, go watch the Titans trailer from Comic-Con that came out this past weekend.
Titans?
So DC with their new
Teen Titans?
Yep. So,
oh no.
So
yeah.
So
they
DC
made a movie.
So no, it's a TV series that they're doing.
Oh no.
On their streaming platform.
Oh.
What?
Which is what they started.
Oh no.
And they're doing a gritty, real live action version of it.
Oh no.
if you want to have a laugh as to how fucking bad it is and what the fuck DC is doing with their franchises, watch that trailer.
So someone in some boardroom basically said, let's make every worst decision possible into making one product.
No, they just said, let's just be DC and make it dark. And then
Our own streaming service,
Yep.
beloved children's show turned dark and gritty, exclusive to said streaming service. You'll probably have to pay extra just for this. Oh, no.
Yep.
No. Oh, no.
I watched it and I was like cringing so hard.
That's so bad.
What's funny is a lot of comments is like, man, Teen Titans Go, people thought was bad, but this shit makes it look like it's like the original Teen Titans show.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
But hey, all the other trailers for everything else looks pretty cool. At least. Especially Shazam.
At least.
Shazam looks like the Guardians of the Galaxy of DC.
Shazam.
Dude, it looks
it looks pretty good.
it looks funny as hell and awesome.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's
That might be the budge that they
promise.
need to get away from dark, because that's what Marvel was doing as well. And then Guardians of the Galaxy came out and was like, hey, comedy and color. And then Marvel was like, holy shit, let's do that.
Oh, no. There was something I was thinking that I had forgotten, but I completely forgot it right now. So cool story for me. StarCraft 2 is 8 years old. Oh, God.
Yep.
Oh, God. I still haven't finished the campaign. Anyway,
That's okay. Same here.
that'll do it for the news. That'll kick us over to emails. Emails! You can email us at our email, which is utterlygeek@gmail.com. That's utterlyg33k@gmail.com. Send them there. We'll answer them here. We didn't get any. But you can also follow us on Twitter at utterlygeek. That's utterlygeek. On social media. Fuck social media. But you can tweet at us if you want. Wally?
Nothing.
Nothing. Good. You're all saying fuck social media.
Woo!
We're also on Instagram, arguably the most delightful form of social media because it's only photos. Follow us at Utterly Geek. That's utterlygeek on the Instagrams.
So no,
Mr.
G33k.
Oh, did I not say 33?
You said EEK.
Fuck.
Still
It's
thinking
threes.
about Twitter. Still thinking about Twitter.
It's threes on the gams.
We didn't get anything.
Didn't get anything. Mr. Petrella curates that, so send all your love that way. That'll kick us over to new releases, our final segment of the evening, starting with PlayStation 4. It's a big week this week. We have the Mega Man X Legacy Collection 1 and 2 coming out July 24th for the PlayStation 4, the PC, the Switch, and the Xbox One. That's if you want to play all 6 Mega Man X games.
I'm
We
almost
also-
considering that. I don't know.
I kind of am too.
Except I just bought Hand of Fate 2, so it's not...
Yeah, you should play that. Yeah, I mean, this is a digital download. It'll be available forever,
Yeah.
unless it's PT.
Hashtag
see.
fuck Konami.
Hashtag fuck
it-
Konami.
put it on
They
this-
actually shut down. Some kid was trying to recreate all of PT on PC, and fucking Konami shut that shit down.
We were going to report that the week you were gone, but then Steve was gone as well, so I was like, well, I guess I'm doing my own thing tonight.
They have such a hard-on for fucking hating Hideo Kojima that
Yeah.
fuck Konami.
Put in your social media that everyone hates.
Blast them. Fuck Konami. Hashtag. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe. I
Ring
don't
the bell. Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Ring-
Yeah, ring that fucking bell.
Yep.
hammer that bell. I don't really see anything else of note for release on the PlayStation 4. Hello Neighbor, July 27th.
Yeah,
Eh.
not a lot coming out for PlayStation.
Oh, Xbox One, No Man's Sky comes out tomorrow, July 24th. For the first
Ah.
time.
Just in
No Man's
time
Sky.
for that big ass update to come out.
Yep. They kind of planned that one well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, Banner Saga 3, July 26th. Xbox One, PC, PS4, and Switch. I don't know why that wasn't on the PS4. I gotta find a better source for releases.
Mm-hmm.
The Banner Saga Trilogy, also bonus edition, coming out on everything on the same day. Nintendo Switch sees again the Mega Man X Legacy Collection Semblance on the 24th. I've heard some rumblings about this. Not sure what it is. Innovative platformer with deformable terrain set in a beautiful minimalist world. So it sounds like every indie platformer.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. No, that's not what I thought it was. Banner Saga 3, Candle, Crossing Souls, July 26th. I've heard things of that. Hello Neighbor on Switch on the 27th. And that seems to be it for new releases. Not a lot.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. Fucking Madden is coming up soon.
Oh, yeah.
And that means that the actual video game release schedule starts. Yeah. Oh, boy. Madden is coming. Oh, God. Oh, God. That's a huge day.
Okay. All right.
Oh, no.
Save it for another time.
It's next. Is it next week that we got to talk about? It's not next week that we got to talk about it. But we probably will anyway. Oh, no.
Oh, I know exactly where you're going towards. Yep. Okay.
There's a lot that's oh no that same day.
Mm-hmm. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh boy. Well, until then, we'll leave you in existential dread to know what that is.
Oh no!
Oh no! They're gonna eat him, and then they're gonna eat me. Oh no!
And he says, "Oh my God, God,
Yeah.
Darren, get your troll 2
Yeah, he says-
right."
Oh my
Well-
god!
Well, I guess there you have it.
It's similar enough.
I guess.
You know too little, Jonathan Snow.
Jonathan Snow.
Yep.
Winter
Oh my God.
is a season.
Jesus Christ. Are we done?
I guess I'm
This is
done.
the worst way you're wrapping up this show.
Fucking end this shit.
God damn it.
Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe.
Oh
Ring
God.
that bell.
Ding, ding, ding. Ring-a-ling-a-ding,
Get
ding.
them updates.
Get them updates. Smash it. Like, favorite, comment below. Links in the... Let's go to my affiliate link. Buy my headphones. Buy my pizzas.
Buy my loot
Here we go.
boxes.
Loot boxes.
Yeah.
Oh, social loot boxes. All right, thanks. We're gonna shut this shit down. We deserve to be fired. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
See ya.